Hello and welcome to Catch More Media. In tonight's show, we bring you all the action from round 2 of the Gizmo Angling Commercial Knockout, which took place last week at the beautiful Heronbrook Fisheries in Staffordshire. With 52 competitors spread out over 5 of the complex's most prolific lakes, big weights were all but guaranteed. With bright, hot conditions, many people expected shallow fishing to be the most dominant method on the day, and one angler who was heavily tipped to perform well was Steve Openshaw. Drawn on Match Lake, Steve got off to a great start, catching a few fish on the feeder and then absolutely emptying it on the long pole. For a lot of the anglers who were catching well, tapping the pole tip on the water to imitate the sound of feed being introduced was proving a deadly tactic. Over on Bridgepool, Frankie Garnacelli was also catching really well, fishing casters shallow under a large attractive bush on the far side. Meanwhile, on Island Lake, Paul Hollander got off to a great start, catching quality fish down either margin. And likewise, Robbie Griffiths, at the other end of the lake with the wind pushing in, was also starting to make things happen. As with all 4 rounds of this prestigious event, this match was sponsored by Gizmo Angling. Before the match, we caught up with Andy May, who's been an avid fan of the Gizmo Angling ZT Pro hook tyre right since its creation.
Hi! You may remember me from such films as How to Catch Shallow on the Pelly. No, I'm joking with you, that's another film. I want to talk to you about the ZT Pro. Now, it's proper changed how I tie hooks, it's absolutely brilliant. I can knock up sort of 40-50 hooks in, sort of 40-50 minutes. It literally is that quick. It's a proper game changer. Dennis Lee, absolute legend. Gone are the days, sort of arched over, you know what I mean? Getting sort of neck strain and hand strain and this, that and the other, getting a little indent in your finger with that hook buries in. Them days are gone. As I say, you can knock up loads of hooks in a short space of time. I would not be without it. So one of the things I love about it is obviously the traditional way to do sort of hair rigging with a little band is to use an eyed hook. Now, all of you know, like, eyed hooks traditionally are a little bit heavier than a spade end. So what Dennis has done is come up with a little contraption here. You can just see it there. Basically, that allows you to put a band on a spade end hook, which obviously is going to fall a lot slower through the water when you're banding baits like casters and that for them big, wise, crafty roach and big, dirty F1s and hide and this, that and the other. Again, it's just absolutely brilliant. I would not be without them. Pretty much all my fishing now when I'm banding caster is done with a spade end hook, so it does fall that much slower. Potatoes.
One thing Heronbrook is famous for is its big stocks of chunky, hard-fighting carp. So even those who got off to a great start on the F1s couldn't rest on their laurels, as some big fish were sure to feed late on in the day. Although Steve Openshaw looked to be pulling ahead of the field, there were plenty of people catching fish on the island pool, including Matty Pilley and 3 times Fishermania champion Jamie Hughes. Meanwhile, on Meadowpool, Steve Barraclough was also getting amongst the fish. Another man who was pushing Steve Openshaw all the way was Paul Brandrick. Drawn on peg 8 on Bridgepool, he was very happy on the morning of the match. And after having a fish-filled day on the long pole with casters, it was easy to see why. But would he have done enough? Remember, the top 40 anglers after 3 rounds on cumulative weight are the ones who progressed through to the grand final at Barston. So even those anglers who hadn't had such a good day were battling to keep those all-important pounds going in the net to maintain their chance of making the big money final.
Started off, I chucked a method feeder, hybrid feeder to the corner of the peg, banded 6mm on, caught a carp and 3 F1s, fed me shallow line for half an hour with casters. After about 3/4 of an hour went on that, didn't look back until the last hour. It went a bit dodgy, went funny on me, saw a few tails down the edge and went down the edge, caught a few carp. Yeah, I mean, it's another great event. It's you know, we've got a lot of us match anglers have got a lot of big competitions, so it's more the merrier. It's a great event. I've just stood in for somebody because some of the other dates didn't quite, they clashed with a few other matches, but next year I'll certainly be having a go for it, definitely.
A new feature for this event is the Joseph James Law Young Angler Award, which is given to the best performing angler under the age of 25. And today, that man was Jordan Holloway, with a weight of 138 pounds 12 ounces. The final qualifying round of this event gets underway at Lindholme Lakes on the 18th of July, with Bonsai, Benny's and Laurel's Lake being used.